Assalamu alaikum, good evening, and a very warm welcome to the third episode of Lockdown Live. By now, you must all be knowing that I'm Afshin Nizari and I'm going to host your episode for this week. Times have been real hard for all of us. We're trying to maintain a balance, which is very difficult, tricky, and yet mandatory. It has left the world in economic recession. How long is it going to last, and how will we recover? Depends on the government, but depends on all of us as well. Coming back to our lockdown live session, in this episode, we are focusing on the category of sustained success. In this category, the brand discusses how well they have performed for 3 consecutive years. Today, I have on my panel some very interesting new age millennials combination with plus the wonderful cross category representation. Let's find out how far they have climbed the ladder up and how far they plan to go. We have with us Mr. Raza Ali, who's the Director Marketing, McDonald's Pakistan. And he's going to discuss with us Food Trust Open Door campaign. Assalamu alaikum, Raza. How are you?
Walaikum Salam, Afshin. How are you? All is well at your end.
Everything is good. Next, we have with us Shahzeb Atif. He's Head of Brands, Media and Digital Marketing, and he's representing Ufone Supercard. He's talking about his campaign, Wohi Mahine Bhar Ki Befikri. Shahzeb, are you with us?
I am. Can you guys hear me? Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. I hope आपका internet connection अच्छे से चल रहा हो, Shahzeb.
Internet connection बहुत अच्छे से चल रहा है, but I'm struggling with this for some reason. Video जो है वो broadcast नहीं हो रही, but I'm sure you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes.
So you'll have to bear with this, I think.
चले बस जब आप कोशिश करते हैं जब तक हम introduction कर रहे हैं कैमरा ऑन हो जाए.
कोशिश जारी है.
ठीक है. Next we have with us Ushna Manzoor Khan. She's the brand manager, Recipe Mixes, Shan Food.
Yeah, hi everyone.
Assalamu alaikum, Ushna. क्या हाल चाल है आपके?
Perfect.
So, and of course we have Nandana Anwar. She's the senior brand manager, products HPL.
Hi everybody.
Hi Nandana. Welcome to the show. And also we have our very own Saima Kamar. She has been on the jury panel for years. And she has spent more than 25 years in the market research in various roles. She just took retirement from the role of chairperson Kantar, and she's now working as a consultant in research.
Assalamu alaikum everyone.
Welcome everyone to the show. How is everything with you all? I hope this COVID, which has impacted all of us personally and professionally on our businesses. Tell me something. What has been your brand strategy? We can discuss, individually. We can start off with Raza.
Yes. Thank you, Afshin.
I think आपकी इंडस्ट्री काफी इफेक्ट हुई है with this lockdown and COVID. Tell us, what was your brand strategy? जब ये सब कुछ हुआ तो आप लोग क्या एकदम से you decided lockdown कर दिया, बंद कर दिए, क्या किया आप लोगों ने? लोगों को lay off किया? What was your strategy?
Actually, Afshin, this is something which was unprecedented event. Actually, nobody in the world was prepared for it. So actually, whatever we have planned, that was like learning, sharing from country to country. There were a few countries which were ahead of us. So we had a few learning from them. That's the advantage that McDonald's have being a global brand. So, but nevertheless, actually handling such kind of a situation, it's not easy for anyone, for any brand, be it a small or a big. So our first and foremost objective is to secure our human resource. So there should be a minimum layoff. First, we decided that internally with the management, we decided that we're not going to go for any layoff of our permanent employees. So still, so it's been like started on in the third week of March. This is till now. Alhamdulillah, as far as when our permanent employees are concerned, we we have not gone for any layoff. But on the other hand, actually, you also work with a combination of part timers and temporary workers, and those are the labor force which we use in our restaurants, and those are required as and when they are they are called. But unfortunately, we kept them till April 30th, and we had been paying all the dues, everything. But from May, when it prolonged, we had to, because they were not able to join in the restaurant, and restaurants were closed. So we taken care of all our permanent employees, and those labor force was something that we had put on hold. Rest, uh, in this situation, the primary objective of the brand to uh, some mic is open, so I'm getting noise back in,
We can switch off
anyway.
the mics, I think, for a few minutes.
So the at the beginning, so in this during this time, the brand sole purpose was to reassure customer the safety of the product that they consume. So public safety awareness was number one on our agenda, and we developed our content regarding public safety assurance, and the measures that we additional measures actually which we took to assure that nobody touches customers food except themselves. The only hand touches the food, that's the customer's hand, not anybody else. So whatever the measures which were taken, like when employees come in, the first temperature is taken, then the hand sanitization, wearing a mask, gloves. These are the something which were already in place in our system since day one, but they were further beefed up with the new pandemic situation, and as per our global and local guideline from the health ministry. So those were all in place, and those were not implemented. In fact, those were also communicated through the social media and other mediums to educate public and our customers what steps that we have taken. So that was our strategy during the crisis situation. Then, of course, as the situation goes on, then there is a recovery plan and there are revival plan in place. So, which we are working on. Thank you.
सो आई थिंक आई एग्री विद यू बट हमने वो जैसे ही खुल गया है लॉकडाउन ईज हुआ है तो हमने कोई 100 गाड़ियां खड़ी देखी हैं हर आपके ड्राइव थ्रू के बाहर और कई दफा तो हम लोग कहते हैं कि यार ये इतना रश है नॉट गोइंग टू स्टेप इन सो या मूविंग ऑन उष्णा let's hear it from you. What was Shan's strategy during these times?
So, hi everyone. So, basically, I think brands are always we have challenges thrown at us at all times, and this was something, as Raza rightly said, something that nobody had foreseen. In this scenario, obviously, we had to adjust to whatever the current scenario was. So, where we did continue airing the TV, the campaign that we launched, that we had launched earlier a month prior to this whole COVID thing that started. So we were on air with that. At the same time, we were also active on digital, and we had a strategy which was a mix of so the necessary information that had to go out in these times. And then also, I think as a part of a brand team, or generally, as I think brands also have the responsibility to uplift the mood. So the general sentiment, the जो digital के ऊपर था वो there was a lot of sadness, and there was a lot happening, and a lot of brands going out and helping people. So while all of that was simultaneously helping, we also had a mix of emotional and functional food related bit added into our content calendars. And so the strategy that we moved towards was basically like have a mix of all of these pillars built into our digital calendar, at the same time working towards e-commerce as well. And yeah, so this just overall it in, and also I think it also matters a lot industry wise. कुछ industries हैं जिनके ऊपर ज़्यादा impact पड़ा, कुछ industries हैं that were still there, इतना उनके ऊपर impact नहीं पड़ा. So I think food was one of those जिनके ऊपर इतना impact नहीं पड़ा. So yeah, so I think in totality, it didn't impact us as much. But of course, we had to adjust to whatever the current sentiments around it was. Yeah.
And I think वो आपके शायद sales increase हुई होगी उस ज़माने में, if I'm not, because I was going through some research, and apparently every country or every region has experienced at least 2 weeks of quarantine cooking. So I
Yeah.
think वो वाला time तो हर region and every country is experienced.
Yeah.
So Shazib, how was telcos affected during this time? And I think initially shayad Ufone did not advertise, but later on we saw a couple of commercials. Or was it running throughout? What was your strategy?
So unprecedented times, and telecom industry, because relies heavily on the retail network, suffered a lot. But fortunately, the entire industry, we've been working on alternate digital channels. So it was an opportunity for us to activate and start providing services or bring customers to digital channels. I think our biggest contribution, along with so many other different frontliners जिन्होंने in times में contribute किया है, our first and foremost responsibility was to keep Pakistan connected. It was very important. People who were away from work or in other cities, we were providing them with an essential service through which they can stay in touch with their loved ones. They can study at home using internet. They can browse, they can shop, they can seek guidance on their medical conditions. Besides that, I think हमारे लिए एक और important चीज़ ये भी थी, because telecom brands over the years have provided a big range of services, and customer needs are so diverse. So we had to give them, and they were unable to access markets, they were unable to buy products. So a lot of free resources, additional minutes, emergency lockdown areas में minutes, free internet, free WhatsApp, so that they can use those resources and again, make good use of their time at their homes. Commercial side where we had to invest a lot on activating and making our customer journey on digital channels more accessible. Our customer care services provided the guidance, all kinds of help. We introduced special packages. And at the same time, I think another aspect of our communication in this time has been providing, being a very human brand and providing emotional strength in these times of trauma. I think we were one of the first few brands who came up with this dua like communication mein tum khairiyat se raho. And then we had, along with that, a lot of public service messages where we were asking people to stay home, disinfect their phones. Medical services were zero rated, which means people could call up all government medical emergency helplines free of cost. They could browse through government and WHO and a lot of hospitals' websites and their services free of cost. So I think our role was very around providing help, being there for the customers, going beyond our regular call of duty, and just staying true to the spirit of being there for our customers. But it has affected a lot.
बट आई एग्री कि आपके कंधों पे मजीद बोझ डाल दिया था हम लोगों ने बिकॉज इंटरनेट यूजेज बढ़ गया था लोग नेटफ्लिक्स पे आ गए थे लोग गूगल
Exactly.
क्लासेस ले रहे थे बच्चे अपनी इंटरनेट क्लासेस ले सो यू नो अ लॉट ऑफ आई एग्री नंदाना हाउ वाज बैंकिंग affected through this.
So I've seen naturally unexpected and suddenly जो plans हमने in the first quarter of the year बनाए थे, they suddenly changed and they became null and void, a lot of them, and then you had to revisit and rehash the entire strategy all over again. एक aspect आपका naturally business का aspect है, which is all our products and what the bank actually, the core business of the bank. And then there's an aspect of communications that we look at. Within communications, there are two audiences that you cater to. एक आपकी external है और एक आपकी internal. So for your external audience, you are pushing them to move towards digital alternatives. We have a lot of softwares available. HPL has a great mobile app also available. We have other apps available that are used for financial dealings. So it's easier for people in this time. It became very relevant for us to push digital banking because that's what the customer's requirement is at this point in time. The second aspect naturally is looking at our brick and mortar, jo hamari branches, and that's a very big part of our business. So we had to ensure the safety of our customers as well as the people working in the branches. So making sure that you meet all health requirements, putting up informational posters, making the right communications at the right touch points, making sure that your customers are comfortable entering that environment, conducting their transactions and leaving with safety. So naturally, there's a big burden with the kind of network that HPL has as the largest bank in Pakistan. There is a lot of fronts to manage. So I think it's an ongoing process, and I think there's a lot of preemptive work that's happening at HPL. But there are certain times when we hit a roadblock and we have to rehash things all over again and do something new that we haven't done before.
Saima, आप कुछ ऐड करना चाहेंगी? आप तो you're working as a researcher. At this time हमने देखा कि there were a lot of research companies जिन्होंने अपने webinars किए, जिन्होंने अपने data compile किया कोविड के times का, कोविड के pre-time and then post kind of वो वाला time, और फिर we have a lot of research data now at hand. I think all of the research companies in Pakistan and worldwide were working for it. आप बताएं, how did you think it has affected the overall industry? माइक म्यूट हुआ है आपका.
I think जो research industry है ना वो बोर हो गई इस कोरोना के पीरियड के दौरान. What happened really was that because face to face काम नहीं हो सकता था, so people were forced to move into digital platforms जो कि पहले people were wary कि ये होगा या नहीं होगा. So I've seen focus groups being conducted by Zoom and in-depth interviews, and whole branded trackers being shifted to Catty and random dialer. Telcos have played an important role in that. I think it helped the industry move forward. अगर ये corona ना होता तो it would have probably taken at least 8 years to get there, and because of this, एकदम से वो transition आया. Having said that, I mean, because of this transition, जो बेचारा interviewer था, जो face to face काम करता था, वो घर बैठ गया. तो एक काफी बड़ी वर्कफोर्स है जो कि जो है ना अनएम्प्लॉयड है. मतलब मेरा अपनी सिचुएशन ये थी कि आई जस्ट लेफ्ट कैंटर एंड आई स्टार्टेड टेंडर ड्रैगन, एंड आई यू वोंट बिलीव हाउ मेनी मैसेजेस एंड ईमेल्स आई गॉट फॉर वर्क कि जी कोई काम है तो बताएं. सो आई फील फॉर दोज पीपल, लेकिन ये इवेंचुअली होना ही था, जल्दी या बदेर.
आप बिल्कुल सही बोल रहे हैं. It's a litmus test for all of us. In terms of technology wise, I think जो काम आज से 7-8 साल बाद होना था, we all went through it a couple of years prior to it. Okay, guys, so we'll just start off with our drill. The format is very simple. Each one of you will be given 3 minutes, and you're going to tell us about your campaign, because you are the finalist of are one of the important category. मतलब sustain success कोई आम बात नहीं होती है. 3 साल reaching to this level is also very important, because for 3 consecutive, it means that the brand has done extremely well for 3 consecutive years. And we can start off with, let's start with Ushna. You have 3 minutes to talk about your campaign, and your campaign is Khushiyan Chaklo, right?
Yeah, that's right. So should I start? Yeah. So basically, back then, Shan, because this is a sustained success category, and we started off with the previous year's numbers. Back then, Shan had the position of being the market leader for several years, but we were stuck in a loop of using, tried and tested methods of functional advertising, where we saw our competition was heavily investing in building brand equity through a more emotional positioning. So that's the time where we decided and we launched the platform of Khushiyan Chaklo. And Khushiyan Chaklo is basically a mix of emotional and functional elements. So the Chaklo part is basically the functional element, and the Khushiyan, which means evoking happiness, takes a more emotional approach. So that's where we launched this platform, Khushiyan Chaklo. And then the challenge here was that because Shan had lost its leadership due to losing out on affinity and relevance, while the competition was gaining share by investing heavily on its image, we had to make a comeback. So the insight was that, of course, food has a soul-stirring ability to, break barriers, put aside grudges, and bring the most distant people closer together. So that's when we actually launched our first campaign back then, which was the Do Bhaiyon Wali campaign, as a lot of people know it like that. इसके ऊपर हम लोग ने emotional element जो है वो build किया था, and we were talking about focusing on the authentic taste and traditional cuisine of Shan. So that was in the first year, and then we built on it in the second year with more where we spoke about leveraging on our global footprint. We spoke about consumers from across the world, and they were real people, and they had the real stories, which again highlighted the fact that around the world, wherever you are, you can get authentic, real, authentic tasting food with the ease of Shan that you use. So then we followed up, that was the second consecutive year, and then we followed up on it through our Khana with Parosi campaign, which was another emotional thematic campaign, and the story revolved around a young Chinese couple in a Punjabi locality. And there was a protagonist, a Chinese woman who wishes to connect with the locals and her neighbors, and that's how, through the help of food, a lot of people in the neighborhood connected and they came closer, and that's how um, the neighbors were welcomed, and despite the cultural differences that were there between them, people came together over food. So that's the campaign that we worked on in 2017. And then after that, we actually built on the functional element as well through our different functional copies that we launched, and we focused on other variants that we see that drive our consumption through, like in more seasonal months across the year. And then finally in 2018, we launched One Biryani, One Family campaign, which was another thematic campaign, and that also focused on changing the negative perception that's there in the Punjabi segment. The reason why we focused on Punjab in the last 2 campaigns is because Punjab has a big contribution overall in the category, and of course that makes it an important region, but that's where our competition has a stronghold. So we wanted to tap into that opportunity as well. And so building on a number of emotional campaigns and then adding on to the functional campaigns, that's actually what got us the results that we did now over the last few years. And we actually had great shares and brand metric numbers over the years. and that's what builds our case for the sustained success category.
So we'll just go through the finalist, and then I'm going to come back to you for another question related to
Okay.
your category only. So moving on to McDonald's, Raza. So you're going to discuss about your food trust campaign. Let's see what McDonald's has done for 3 years.
Yeah, actually, we started this back in 2016. Actually, this is our fourth year. So actually, the insight was during this time there was like rumors, not the rumors, the news were coming up on the social media and the newspaper about low hygiene of food and foodborne diseases, and the people now they are hesitant to eat out. Actually, there was like a big social media news which were spreading during that particular time, and then the authorities took certain strict actions, especially in the Punjab side. Actually, we had an internal discussion, and we had an idea. Why don't we let's go and against the like industry norm? Normally, in the food industry, kitchen doors are closed. This is only for your internal customers. These are like hidden secrets are there, so outsiders are not at all allowed. There are like bio warfare is going on in the kitchen inside, so you can't intrude into it. So, but what we did, why don't we don't have any secret, and we don't hide to anything. Why don't let's open door and invite customers, outsider, not customers, even public, so whether they are our customers or not. Let's invite them and show them what we are doing and what's the secret recipe behind making a world best sandwiches, and in a rich environment. So we came up with the idea because all the protocols and the safety, food safety, we have been doing it since beginning. So for us, there was not a new thing, but we decided why don't what we are doing inside for internally, why don't we show it to our customers? So that was a 2016 campaign when we started our campaign Open Doors. So that was our open door, and our open door, we opened our kitchen door and invited public to visit inside and look at their themselves, what we are doing, how the food is being prepared, how the hygiene is being taken care of, how the employees being sanitized. So all these steps, and there was a structured store tour. We used to take them all the in the kitchen, freezer, back sink area, the stock house. So all the places where we store food. That was our first campaign. We opened our doors to public, and the next year we extended it, and that was a purely a functional campaign. We wanted to, communicate our protocols, what we are doing in store. So second year, so the response was amazing. Like for the first 12 weeks, we catered around more than 12,000 people who visited our restaurant nationwide. So that was a very encouraging response from the people, and they really took interest. So second year we extended it, and we then again that was again a functional campaign, and we communicated that you trusted us, you visited us, and these many numbers of customers visited. And then actually the challenge was to the protocols are the same, so you can't change every year. You change your thing because these are the international things that been taken care of, how hygienically and with the safety standards we make products. Challenge was to communicate same message again and again. So how the innovation and creative part. So what we did, the third year we move into an emotional connection, and that again emotional connection came into or with the dipstick survey and among our surrounding, that again an interesting part. The people actually, when we showed in our previous years that we wash eggs, we use different utensils for different meats like fish, chicken, and beef. We use different gloves for raw food and finished products. So these things should not be mingled. So that's called a cross contamination of food. So these kind of a food. So with the discussion among our family and friends, the idea came. Here we learned. ये तो आपसे यार, आपके वो ऐड में था कि अंडों को धोते हैं, इससे पहले हम अंडे तो नहीं धोते थे, हम तो अंडों को ऐसे ही फ्रिज में जाके स्टैकिंग करते थे यार. दैट वाज अ गुड थिंग यार, ये तुम्हारे नाम उससे वी लर्न अ गुड थिंग. देन अगेन अ लर्निंग केम यार, ये हम तो यार फिश और चिकन के लिए एक ही टोंग और एक ही स्पैचुला यूज करते थे यार. ये तो पता चला कि एवरी मीट हैज सो क्रॉस कंटेमिनेशन का इशू होता है. So again, then the third campaign was what we learned at McDonald's, we bring it to home. So that was the emotional connection. और वो फिर फैमिली के साथ था कि माँ कहती है कि ये जो वो अंडों को धो रही होती है, वो कहती है मेरा बेटा डॉक्टर नहीं है, he works in at McDonald's, तो ये वहां से सीखे, तो ये इसको ऐसे अंडों को रखते हैं. So this kind of a thing. Then again था ऑयल का. नॉर्मली लोग एक ऑयल जो आपको मालूम है फ्रायर में चला जाता है तो एक अरसे तक फ्राई होता रहता है, अनलेस के उसकी अंदर फ्राई होने वाली चीजें का कलर ना चेंज हो जाए. तो दैट वाज अगेन लर्निंग जो कि आई. उन्होंने कहा ये दैट वाज अ गुड मूव. सो यू गाइस शोड के यू गाइस चेंज ऑयल on a regular basis and you check it through your testometer and other gadgets होती है. So at least what we do now कि जब ऑयल का कलर बहुत सारा डार्क हो जाता है तो now we started replacing oil. So यही फिर जो ये actual the learning from the public वो हमने कम्युनिकेट थ्री वो हमने उसके हमने एड्स बनाए और वो फिर हमने की इन द थर्ड ईयर. देन अगेन फिर एक चैलेंज था कि आगे क्या काम करें. Then emotional connection move into rational. So that rational when we go out, so basically there's a dialogue between heart and a mind कि यार ये खाना खाएं कि ना खाएं. अगर बाहर से खा रहे हैं so हाइजीन फैक्टर भी है और फिर टेस्ट फैक्टर भी है. So that was a kind of a dialogue between mind and heart. उसको हमने उसमें एड्रेस किया कि जब मैकडॉनल्ड्स की बात आती है तो दिल और दिमाग दोनों एक ही पेज पे है. So that was like a rational theme. उसी की continuity में which we had been building for the 3 years. That was our extension. और फिर आखिरी जो हमारी थी that was again on a lighter mode. वो हमने छोटे small 10 second or 15 second snippets थे. उसके अंदर सीरियस मैसेज इन ह्यूमरस एंड रीजनल लैंग्वेज में. उसमें एक मैसेज इंटरेस्टिंग था कि मैकडॉनल्ड्स के किचन में मैंने इन्हें रंगे हाथों पकड़ लिया. ये रॉ फूड के लिए ब्लू ग्लव्स पहनते हैं और फिनिश फूड के लिए क्लियर ग्लव्स. सो इस तरह के चीकी ह्यूमरस उसकी एडेप्टेशन नहीं है देन किया. सो एक्चुअली द सेम मैसेज for the last 4-5 years जो हम इसको communicate करते हैं ना वो with an innovative और creative way के functional से emotional से rational और फिर उसको lighter humor way में उसके साथ customer connections build किया over the period of time. Thank you.
And it worked for you. Raza, before I forget, ये internationally भी इसी तरह की कोई campaign आप लोग run करते हैं या this was solely a local campaign?
एक्चुअली अफशीन जो इंटरनेशनली है ना वो इस तरह की कैंपेन है क्या ओपन डोर की. लेकिन जो आप इसकी एक्सटेंशंस देख रही हैं इतनी वो सारी की सारी हमारी होती है लोकल होती है. एंड एवरी मार्केट इज ओपन टू वर्क लोकली. सो आइडिया इज टेकन एंड देन एक्चुअली इम्प्रोवाइज्ड और फिर उसकी एग्जीक्यूशन जो होती है वो हर साल आपकी अपनी होती है. थैंक यू.
Okay. We'll move on to Shahzeb. Shahzeb, आपकी कैंपेन है महीने भर की बेफिक्री. Let's hear what you have to say.
Okay, so it all started in 2016. This is the year when a lot of big changes happened in the industry. There was that famous Jazz Varid merger that happened. Um, a lot of the telecom operators were shifting their narrative and their focus to 4G and claims over fastest internet speed. However, customer had a lot of apprehensions with, there was a clear trust deficit and a lot of yesteryear's, very glamorous, very successful brands. They were almost, having their last leg of their era, and there wasn't a single prepaid or postpaid brand that really catered to a huge market size. And a lot of people had these complaints about telecom products being very complicated, having hidden charges, and additional complications such as dial codes and validity periods. And there are different set of these services from internet to SMS to on-net to off-net calls. So our inspiration for Supercard came from the customer and their needs, and customer centricity was um, essentially everything that inspired us to design this product. So the first campaign that we launched in 2016 was a very simple, real people, real emotions campaign in which we picked up human life, everyday heroes, and we described their lifestyle and how they needed a simple and easy to use communications product. And that campaign was "Tumsa hona आसान नहीं, इसीलिए तुम्हारे लिए आसानियां लाता रहा है यूफोन सुपर कार्ड." That was our first successful campaign, and by 2017, this idea evolved into convenience with another aspect or an explanation कि लोगों को हिसाब किताब यानी कि as in the dial codes, the hidden charges, the validity period. Um, in complications, say they were seeking freedom from these complications and calculations. So then it evolved into supercard se befikri chalti rahe. Similarly, in 2018, this further evolved into Hisab Kitab Ki Befikri, where we picked up examples from our daily lives where managing financial matters is a crucial part of our lives. And we showed people doing their everyday chores and having this difficulty, whereas there's one product who is free from all of these complications and essentially resonates with people and their needs. By this time, competition brands had launched their Me Too products, and the competition became quite tough. However, we had an advantage not only as being the first mover, but our product was superior in terms of its service and a lot of other features. So in 2000 and start of 2019, we launched this campaign, which is being shortlisted in this category also, which was Wohi Befikri ke naam se. We had established ourselves as the market leader, and we had a range of products under Supercard umbrella, which we wanted to showcase, meeting needs of young customers to women segment and small and medium-sized businesses. And we wanted to show not only the diversity, but we wanted to show diversity in terms of the customer needs that Supercard fulfills. So we positioned Supercard on the same attributes of as the market leader and having being the only choice for customers. The second half of this campaign, or the later part of this campaign, was a small tactical campaign around budget last year. And by this time, Supercard had won. Its work was recognized in the same category as sustained success last year as a silver award winner. Last year, if you remember, our economic conditions at the national level were quite tough. There was dollar fluctuation and deterioration, and oil prices were skyrocketing. So we positioned Supercard against making the national budget and the anxiety that it brings as the villain, we positioned Supercard as a savior, having very simple to use and easy product. So that campaign was called Budget Ba Mukabla Be Fikri, in which we said, our statement or our entire uh, promise to the customer was budget jaisa bhi ho, befikri hai wahi. So that was the second part of the campaign, and that's where this journey and this discussion for this category ends.
So, Shazib, I don't know if it's a valid question or not. We've seen new phones advertising over a couple of years, और अगर मुझे रिकॉल होता है तो यूफोन के कमर्शियल्स याद आते हैं तो वो वही याद आते हैं, वो जो एक ह्यूमरस अप्रोच होती थी, और आई डोंट नो उस वक्त यूफोन याद हो नहीं हो, लेकिन हमें वो सारे वो कमर्शियल्स याद हैं जिसमें बहुत ही मजे के वो होते थे. आई रिमेम्बर एंड इट वाज डिफिकल्ट फॉर पीपल टू लेट गो ऑफ इट बिकॉज हर एक को ये याद था कि रियली यूफोन कुछ और एडवर्टाइज कर रहा है, बट सबको वो रिकॉल होता था कि हाँ उसमें फैसल होता था, वो वाला कमर्शियल they used to recall. So how difficult was it, or how easy was it to let go of that approach and move on to a totally different functional kind of approach altogether?
It was difficult, it was challenging, but yes, those ads were definitely iconic, and we all miss those ads, and we know how popular those ads were. However, we had to look at things from a very commercial and business point of view. We had to look at things very objectively. As you also mentioned, some of those ads started kind of undermining or however, the commercial side of those products and important functional attributes were getting compromised. And we realized that since Supercard was also doing fantastic with its offer, we really wanted to bring our products and we wanted to create a emotional connection, a human connection with our customers, where we wanted to talk about their lifestyle, their everyday needs, their relationships, their families, and their friends. So this journey, this transition from those humorous ads to now has been very, very challenging, but a great learning exercise. And we are where we are right now, and alhamdulillah, it has been great. But that's another chapter we all miss, definitely.
Yeah, I know. Moving on to Nandana PSL, HBL PSL. मतलब अब PSL को हम PSL नहीं कह सकते हैं. It will always be called as HBL PSL. So आप बताएं आपकी कैंपेन के बारे में. It's HBL PSL 2019.
So, cricket for this country as it is a very big passion point. Brands, when they want to own a platform, primarily look at three avenues. They look at food, they look at music, and they look at cricket. Cricket in the past historically has been owned by some of the biggest brands in the country, and today owning that space in a differentiated way was the challenge that we were faced with when we began this journey. PCB के साथ हमारी partnership 5 साल पुरानी है, 2015 onwards. How we made this platform survive over the years, over the past 5 years, and also made it bigger and better every year was very challenging, because when you have a very big platform, people's expectations are naturally linked to it as well, and they expect that to get better and more entertaining every year. Not only are you linked to all the positive news that come out of all the matches being held in Pakistan, but then there's a lot of security aspects that come along with it that become a point of debate. The kind of stadiums that we have, or the kind of matches that are held, or the kind of facilities that we have, also become part of the narrative around the brand. So we have to manage the entire narrative on many fronts. The beauty of this was there was a big pumping love for the platform when we began, and I think the people that were associated with this platform within HPL, they started with a big passion to make this platform very substantial for all the fans and cricket fans out there. Now, when our campaign started 3 years ago, we naturally got a lot of stockability, a lot of mileage. We got a lot of big celebrities on board, and we did a big powerhouse campaign back in 2016. We've done it every year, but since sustained success is particularly covering this aspect, I'll talk about these past 3 years particularly. So 2017 में हमने TV पे जो campaigns की, they were you with cricket you always have that room to do a tongue in cheek with a lot of passion, with a lot of love. There's a lot of characterization around the cricketers that you leverage upon. There's a lot of characterization. Celebrities also have a certain association with this game within Pakistan. So everybody brings their own flavor to the table also. We covered multiple touch points. We covered television, mass mediums. Obviously, there's branded content. There was on-ground branding and activations. There was PR. There was branded productions by onboarding a suite of relevant and popular celebrities at that point in time. जिसमें Ali Zafar भी थे, Shahid Afridi भी हैं, Ramiz Raja भी थे. So these are people that have been associated with the game for a long time. Then the innovation that you bring to the platform every year. How do you make it interesting? How do you keep the fans entertained every single year? We had an app back in 2017 that was like a VR experience. It was like a 360 VR experience of the stadium, of the fans that were attending the game actually, and you could view it on your app. In addition to all of this, in 2018, we did a very entertaining campaign that was like a face-off and a very healthy rivalry between the teams that was taking place, because naturally when cities are involved in it, then those sentiments are also involved with it. So पेशावर के लोग एक certain तरीके से अपनी टीम को व्यू करेंगे, मुल्तान के लोग अलग तरीके से व्यू करेंगे, पंजाब के लोग अलग तरीके से व्यू करेंगे. So we took a lot of your cricketers that were in a face-off against each other, and we built a campaign around that. There was very friendly shout outs. There were face-offs. We did thematic campaigns. We did tactical ads around it. And one big thing and very exciting thing that we do is we leverage our cricketers in such a way we take them to our branches also. So it's a lot of delight for our customers. It's a lot of delight for our branch staff to experience this interaction with heroes, so to speak. So in 2019, in addition to that, we also have a song that's dedicated to the platform every year, that's associated with it. It's a combination of all those cricketers, all those celebrities, and those fans, and those sponsors that are getting on board. So it's a pumping powerhouse, and it gets bigger every time. And one thing that happened beautifully over the years was the fact that in 2015 when we started the journey, back then सारे matches पाकिस्तान में होने की कभी बात नहीं हुई थी. But in 2017 एक मैच होता था पाकिस्तान में, बाकी सारे मैचेस बाहर होते थे. In 2018 आपके 8 मैचेस पाकिस्तान के अंदर हुए, to the point कि अब आपके सारे मैचेस in 2020 were planned to be within Pakistan. So it's a source of national pride for people also associated with this campaign.
And Dandana, what is the plan for 21? Are you guys still holding on all matches in Pakistan?
So far the plan is very much to hold the, but post Corona, I'm sure there are going to be lots of considerations for players, for traveling, for fans to come and watch the matches, for fans to actually attend these matches in large gatherings. So I'm sure once those measures are in place, we'll have a better picture of what the future holds for us.
So a question which I always ask to all the participants is कि आपका competition कौन है? और सब politically बोलते हैं कोई हमारा competition नहीं है, हम तो सबके साथ काम करते हैं और ये. So एक question हो सकता है कि मैं directly I would name the competitor. So Ushna, the question is for you. So initially there was only National Foods and Shan. National Foods much older, launched in 70s, I think, and Shan later on came on the national front. And now there are a lot of other competitors like Mehran, Spices, then we have Malka, and God knows how many more are pouring. मुझे पता है national food was playing on the traditions front. That was the main core idea. How difficult was it for Shan to break through this already established traditions norm? आप लोगों ने you guys used to advertise through beautiful product shots, as far as I remember. And then वो एक transformation हुई through product shots से फिर वो cooking hands, and then again to beautiful amazing stories you guys knitted. So how does the marketing of Shan Foods see this transformation coming?
Yeah, so basically, like back then when we started off, we were actually only dealing with the functional, the tried and tested way, which is your functional copies, and you can't fail with that approach. But that's when we actually realized that and that's what National was also doing back then, that they were doing very equity building campaigns back then, and they started, of course, before us. हम लोग ने जो प्लेटफॉर्म लॉन्च किया है वो उनसे ऑफ कोर्स थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट है, where they speak about more about Zyka and like that kind of aspect. We're focusing, हमारा प्लेटफॉर्म है खुशियाँ चख लो, so we're talking about people coming together over, let's say, food over dinner table. So हमारी tagline के अंदर, so when you hear खुशियाँ चख लो, it actually focuses on authentic taste, what Shan stands for, and also Khushiyan and Chaklo. So it's a bit of the emotional and the functional factor built together. So, like you rightly said, Shan has actually built on the campaigns over the years. So we've built on the equity campaigns, which are thematic campaigns year on year, and then we've also built the functional campaigns, जिसमें हमारे ज़्यादा food shots जो है वो focus होते हैं. So where the category obviously is dominated by, let's say, your biryani ranges or your curry mein korma ranges and all of that, we also have a lot of other variants that we focus on through our functional campaigns, jo season mein zyada specific ho jata hai, like nihari and all of that. So dono brands ki of course approach totally different hai. The way we also execute it in terms of the core marketing piece that we have, हम पैकेजिंग के टर्म्स में देखने काफी डिफरेंट है. हम जनरली प्रोडक्ट के टर्म्स के अंदर हम लोग ने जो पोजीशनिंग करी हुई है वो काफी डिफरेंट है. एंड yeah, that's what we always do. So it's never like what competition is doing is never the approach. It's always what you go back and see what works best for us, and then you take that forward.
Yeah. So आप सबके सामने साइमा बैठी हैं, and Saima has been there on the panel for years, and she's got beautiful insights. उनकी एनालिसिस बड़ी अच्छी होती हैं जब आप लोगों के फॉर्म्स देख रहे होते हैं. Do you guys have any question for her? Because अब आपने देखा होगा फॉर्म में there's a section for sourcing, and which is specifically related to research. And sourcing is very important because jurors now consider researchers as an integral part of the forms. Do you guys have any questions related to your form? कि किस तरह की research होनी चाहिए? Anything related to she would be the ideal person to answer that.
Not really. I think it's very straightforward. I think every brand, it's specific to the sustained success category, I think हर किसी की अपनी एक different story है, and that's how you actually build on what the objective is and what the challenge is, and then how are the results working in that favor, and then that's how you build the case. So of course the results bit is where the research part comes in, or maybe even the objective bit is where the research part comes in. So I think it's very straightforward and laid out how and where to use the research on the overall case.
So Saima, ये सारी वो brands हैं जिनकी multiple categories में entries होती हैं. So for example, food trust यहाँ भी आया होगा और अपनी category में भी आया होगा restaurants की. इसी तरह से HBL भी multiple जगह पे. What is there an advice for them, because multiple जगह ये लोग enter हो रहे होते हैं? The juror goes through their form multiple times. Do you have any advice for them?
So I think it's a very pertinent question and a burning question as well. होता ये कि when you enter a category, sometimes you lose perspective. So what we see is the same case repeated over and over again in different categories. अब जब आप sustained success is of course slightly different because you have to talk about your 3 years. For example, there is a camp. I'll take an example. There is a campaign which goes into seasons category as well, and it can goes into Passion for Pakistan as well, and it goes into its own category as well. And essentially, what we see is an identical write-up for all three. So होता क्या है कि the submission loses out actually because आमतौर पे वो राइटअप अपनी कैटेगरी के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से लिखा हुआ होता है ना, पैशन फॉर पाकिस्तान के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से नहीं लिखा हुआ। सो एक्चुअली जब उस कैटेगरी के तहत हम जज कर रहे होते हैं तो दैट ब्रांड लूजेस आउट ऑन दैट, एंड इट मे बी मतलब एक्चुअली ये पोस्ट जस्टिफिकेशन के तौर पे ही ये सारे, जब आपने इश्तेहार बनाया होता है या आप जब सबमिट करा रहे होते हैं तो आपके जहन में एक फोकस होता है कि जी इसके हिसाब से हमने जो है ना अपनी कैंपेन बनानी है। लेकिन जब आप अवार्ड्स के लिए सबमिट करा रहे होते हैं जैसे यार ये दिस कैन आल्सो गो इनटू पैशन फॉर पाकिस्तान, और ये 14 अगस्त पे भी हमने चलाया था तो इट वाज देयर एज वेल, या मदर्स डे के साथ दिए जाते हैं। तो देन व्हेन राइटिंग द केस फिट इन दैट एंगल एज वेल, समटाइम्स वो एंगल टोटली मिसिंग होता है। दैट इज माय ओनली सॉर्ट ऑफ एडवाइस टू ऑल द स्मार्ट पीपल, स्मार्ट मार्केटर्स हियर, मुझसे बहुत बेहतर जानते हैं केस लिखना।
And I think over a period of time, overall quality of the form has improved tremendously.
Greatly. I remember the first जो PAS awards थे, फर्स्ट से या सेकंड से मैंने जूरी में ज्वाइन करना शुरू किया आई थिंक, और तो पहले जो फॉर्म्स थे उनको तो देख के रोना आ जाता था। उसके अंदर कई दफा तो ये होता था कि यार अंग्रेजी भी ठीक नहीं होती। सो अब तो alhamdulillah I see a lot of effort goes into it and you are taking these awards very seriously, and these should be taken very seriously. These, I mean, PAS was like ठीक है लोकल था लेकिन नेशन वाइड था, and Effie is now an international platform. We hope that some of you will sort of go internationally to Cannes or somewhere, where your campaign moves on those lines. केस बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, आपकी कॉपी इम्पोर्टेंट होती है लेकिन केस मेरा ख्याल है उस कॉपी को मेक और ब्रेक करता है, एंड देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ इम्प्रूवमेंट, नॉट टू से कि परफेक्शन अचीव हो गई, देयर इज ऑलवेज रूम फॉर इम्प्रूवमेंट, सो मजीद इम्प्रूवमेंट की गुंजाइश।
सॉरी, आप लोगों को आवाज तो नहीं आ रही है? हमारे पड़ोस में शदीद किस्म की कोई तोड़ फोड़ हो रही है। आप लोगों को अगर आवाज आ रही है तो वो मेरे ही ऑफिस से आ रही है। अच्छा, मुझे बताएं, गिव मी वन ट्रेट व्हिच डिफरेंशिएट्स यू फ्रॉम द रेस्ट ऑफ योर कंपेटिटर्स। वी कैन स्टार्ट ऑफ विद शाज़ेद। हाउ डू यू डिफरेंशिएट योरसेल्फ फ्रॉम टेलेनोर, जैज, ज़ोंग?
आई थिंक कॉर्पोरेट लेवल के ऊपर टेलेनोर, जैज और जोंग से डिफरेंशिएट करने के लिए तो बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स हैं, बट सिंस वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट सुपर कार्ड स्पेसिफिकली, आई थिंक इट्स दिस the inspiration from customer and their needs and the simplicity. So this is a hybrid all-in-one solution jiski validity hai for the entire month. People have started the change in consumer behavior that we've noticed is that they've started buying this as part of their monthly grocery list. So वो महीने के शुरू में खरीदते हैं, खा वो अपने लिए हो, खा वो बेगम के लिए हो, बच्चों के लिए हो, बहन के लिए हो, and then it lasts the entire month. Without having to worry about केस में कितने MBs हैं या कितने क्या data है, because all of that proved to be very cumbersome for the customers. So I think that's that's one aspect, and the second one is that we've been very real in our communication. We've been talking about everyday Pakistanis. Whereas a lot of the brands who tried to imitate and who tried to run for the same campaign similar, they used a lot of celebrity endorsements, bahut sara naach gana. I'm not saying their ads were not great and everything, but they had a different approach to lure or attract the customers. So that has been our differentiator.
Ushna, how would you differentiate Shan from the rest of?
I think Shan, in terms of recipe, stands out. So we do have the expertise in the recipe development, and we do claim that Shan ka hai asal rivaiti zaika, which means that we basically have the authentic recipe. So, for example, we have Bombay biryani. So it's actually the recipe that we get from the Bombay. So yeah, that's what we actually stand out for. That Shan ka stands for true authentic taste.
अच्छा मुझे बताए which is your stronger area आपका? Is it Punjab or Sindh?
Sorry, what?
Which is your stronger area? The Punjab side is more stronger for Shan, or is it the Sindh?
What do you think?
So I think Sindh should be
Yes, of
your
course, it is.
strength.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Raza, आप बताएं, what is a trait which differentiates you from your competitor? हमने अभी ये पूछा नहीं है वैसे आपसे competitor कौन है, but who do you treat your competitor?
That's a quite interesting question. I would say हम अपनी जुबान में बोलते हैं कि ना घर का चूल्हा is our biggest competitor. So so you know, so that is our biggest competitor is a घर का चूल्हा. उसके बाद then of course QSR industry है. So when it comes to your point, the क्या हमारे comparative advantage है, तो I would say कि food trust जिसके ऊपर now we are actually competing and for the successive you know our success on this food trust, that's a one area. Food trust is a comparative advantage that people trust in our brand. And second comparative advantage I would say would be accessibility. So in दो चीजों को ना I think these are the two most important areas.
So Raza, आपका where does the pull come from? Does it come from the kid, or is it the mother? Who, which is the deciding factor? मेरे घर में तो it was always the kids. मेरी दो अलमारियां भरी हुई हैं वो toys there. One is 15 years old and the other is 8 years old, but they're not letting go of those toys. So where does the pull comes from?
Actually, you're right. एक जो हमारा है ना, now actually we have our segmentation है. Family with kids जो है, that is a one very important segment. Of course, certainly वो जो pull होती है जो आप बता रही हैं वो kids की है. That is a one area. That is a family with kids. फिर आपके पास जो दूसरे हैं, that is young adults हैं. And now actually lately आपको मालूम है कि पाकिस्तान में there are more whereas our population is skewed towards younger one to teens ka for the last I would say during the last 4-5 years teens ki jo hai na percentage that has been increased tremendously. So now their teens are also a very significant portion. इससे पहले वो इतने ज्यादा नहीं होते थे. There was a single digit इनकी contribution था. Now they have grown equivalent to like young adults.
Yeah. So Nandana, I'll just come to you now. अब मुझे बताएं HBL advertises tremendously. मतलब I haven't seen a bank so active on all mediums. मुझे दूसरा कोई बैंक नजर नहीं है. Of course, Allied Bank है, Standard Chartered. बहुत कम लेवल पे जाके they nobody has आप आज से पहले कोई सोच नहीं सकता था PSL कोक या पेप्सी के पास होता है शायद ये तो people can imagine, but a bank owning that kind of ownership of such a big entity was not possible. मुझे बताएं कि HBL को आप how do you, which trait would you say कि हाँ this is one trait which distinguish it from the rest of the banks?
I think you the hint of the answer was in the question that you asked. Nobody has invested in their brand equity as well as HBL has consistently over the years. So while there are huge banks and they're doing some great work and we have a lot of respect for it naturally, but HBL ने पिछले over a period of 2 decades or 3 decades, they have built upon their positioning in a financial sector जहाँ पे कोई भी emotional positioning की बात नहीं करता था. So they brought this platform of enablement of dreams that was unheard of in the category, because this was a very basic, dry category where people are just uh, fulfilling their financial needs in a very basic manner without any emotional connect to the organization that they're interacting with. But I think the beauty of this, the positioning that HPL has held on, is the way it believed it invested in it, and I think the way it brought it to life. We've had huge campaigns over the years pushing the same corporate positioning over a period of time. As we evolve and become a more digital savvy bank, a more modern, a more futuristic bank, there will always be that leg of emotion that we carry with us, which is enabling the dreams of the nation. And that's where cricket fit in very beautifully also. So for whether it was the fans or whether it was the cricketers, anybody that was associated with the sport or this platform, HPL PSL brought alive all those emotions. And I think that is something that sets it apart from just dry products and services that many banks can sell.
Can I add on to that? For me, as a consumer, the part where HBL clearly wins is the part where they started giving so many discounts. And I'm saying that I think on behalf of a lot of people. The amount of messages you get on the phone from HBL discount cards, I think it's crazy. Yeah. So that's why for me personally, that's why HBL really took over the game.
It's something that we sometimes you give in a product and you have to kind of, it's part of your job to believe in it. But the beauty of HPL products was that we already had enough reason to believe in all these products, and it was actually bringing a lot of joy to customers. And like she mentioned, I think our cards team will be very happy to hear that people are so happy with the alliances and partnerships that we create, because that's our purpose.
I agree, and it's a very old. मतलब जितना पाकिस्तान पुराना है हमारा, I think each will is that old. मुझे बताए, अब I want a pitch from you guys. Why should people participate in the awards program? So HBL, Shan, and Ufone, these are all our member companies. To tell them कि awards क्यों important है और उनको convince करना was very फिर भी easy. McDonald's is not one of our member companies, but yet they've been sending entries for a couple of years, at least for 3 years as of now. मुझे बताएं, I want to pitch a very small one-liner. Why should people participate in award program? We'll start off with Shazid.
I think it's important not only for brands, people who work, behind the scenes, for their work to get acknowledged, for brands to feel that sense of accomplishment and achievement. It makes us part of a very vibrant industry where there are so many professionals who work with a lot of passion. So it feels great, exchange of ideas, and there's an element of training, learning. So it's awesome. I think there should be more of such awards platforms and more of this knowledge exchange.
Ushna, you're next. A nice pitch.
I think award shows also carry that sportsmanship spirit. It's beyond winning and losing. It's much more than that. So apart from just winning and losing, I think you just come together to learn firsthand from people who are actually the brains behind the ideas that we look at, and some great campaigns. For example, PSL itself, PSL and HBL kind of goes together. I think it's one of the great marketing platforms that we've had till date. So obviously all of that goes actually beyond the award itself, I think is a great learning experience altogether.
साइमा, आप बताएं, जूरी पैनल, आप बताएं कि क्यों, why should people participate in our program?
I think Shahzeb has summarized it very well. I mean, जब आप टेलीविजन पे इश्तिहार देखते हैं तो आप सिर्फ वो इश्तिहार देखते हैं और आप ब्रांड देखते हैं. And sometimes the people who have actually worked hard behind that brand, they don't sort of come to the forefront. And the beauty of these awards is that you you bring those people to the light. And over and above that, actually, I think when you are looking back at the work that you have done, when you look back at for the writing of the case, when you look back at the brief, and I think it also gives a great learning experience on what could have been done better and what you should do for your next campaign that happens. Then I think it breeds very healthy competition. It is very nice to see competitors come together, congratulate each other on their wins. And it is beautiful. I think it's a beautiful evening all around. जब भी ये award ceremony होती है, it is very nice. And industry जो है ना वो इकट्ठी होती है और एक दूसरे को शाबाश देती है. I think that is the real beauty of it.
I know that's one night we all look forward to. Raza, आप बताएं, why should we all, people or the entrants or the companies out there should participate?
I think already sum up ho gaya. I would say I'll add in fact one thing. Actually, acknowledging people who have worked behind the curtain, जो के audience को दिखाई नहीं देते. I think acknowledging them, their good work is that is to be acknowledged. And और फिर उनको जो accomplishment है, or be it whether you win or not, if you come up to the like a victory stand, that's good enough to acknowledge them, because there's always everyone can't be number one. So if you are going and reaching to the victory stand, I think that's a big achievement for the brand. And then acknowledging people who have really worked hard to push the brand to the victory stand. I think this is more than enough.
So we're almost to the end of our show, but अभी आप लोगों ने अपने cases की pitch करनी है. Each of you have 1 minute to tell people out there why should you guys be a winner? Why should HBL be a winner, or Ufone, or McDonald's, or Shan for that matter? We can start off with HBL, Nandana, and I'll just tell you when to start. It's just going to be 1 minute, huh? Yeah, your time starts now.
So for us, HPL PSL is one of the biggest events in Pakistan, and to make it bigger and better every year has been a huge challenge, but a huge accomplishment as well. And I think the reason that we should be winners is because we've added on an emotional benefit for the customer year on year. And I think that emotional benefit is what will tie people to this platform for a long time to come. So as far as top of mind is concerned, as far as evoking passionate spirits is concerned, as far as being patriotic is concerned, there's some very deep rooted feelings that we evoke from this platform. So I think that is going to hold true for many years to come. That's why we should be winners.
Cool. 50 seconds. Ushna, you're next. And let me just... Okay, so yeah, your time starts now.
Yeah, so Shan basically had the position of being the market leader for several years, but was stuck in a loop of using tried and tested methods of functional advertising, while our competition was investing heavily in brand equity through a more emotional positioning. So that's when we actually lost on the share that we had to the competition, and then the gap actually started widening. But things didn't seem good for Shan, but we made a big comeback with a campaign for Shan Chaklo that spanned over 3 years, and it actually helped us regain the position of dominance back. So I think that makes a great case study.
Okay, 41 seconds. Raza, why do you think McDonald's should be a winner?
McDonald's is a forward-looking, progressive burger company, and we take our burger business very seriously. We strongly believe in transparency and the best hygiene and safety practices, which we demonstrate in all our way. Be it you have it at a restaurant or at your place or you drive through. So we ensure every time that your burger, your fries, and any dessert is prepared, that is prepared with the best quality. And we believe in transparency that is being given to our customers. We provide flawless, try to provide flawless service to our customers, and we believe in providing a high value for money. So we want to make McDonald's customers to not just buy McDonald's food. In fact, they buy into the brand, buy into McDonald's. So that's our ultimate desire. Thank you.
आप 6 सेकंड्स ऊपर चले गए रजा.
Sorry.
चले Shazib, why do you think you should be a winner? Your time starts now.
Okay, so I think being in the same league as HPL, Shan Foods, and McDonald's, sharing this platform with them is a huge honor and massive respect to all of you and your teams. While Effie's is a great honor participating, another award that we really look forward to and we think it's very dear to us is our customers' confidence and how we are able to help them fulfill their goals and their ambitions. I think we've been very simple. We've understood and we've delivered on our brand promise very effectively, consistently. This is the only telecom brand, I'm not talking about the corporate brand, but the only telecom prepaid solution that has a huge following. There's a huge level of trust. Every month, millions of people buy this without having to worry about their communication needs. So that's simple and effective for us, and we look forward to the final results.
Okay, with that, we conclude our pitch for the show. But that doesn't mean we're going to announce it in this show. Of course, you'll have to keep a watch out, and we're exploring a few options. We're going to announce in a couple of days when we are actually scheduling the awards. But for that, you'll have to stay tuned to all the updates on Effie Pakistan page. Fantastic job, guys. Wonderful and amazing stories of the brands. One thing which was common among all 4 of you were the stories, the well-knitted stories or the emotional connect, which each of your brand made it possible towards the consumer end. I'm just going to go through the comments. We have a few comments with us. So there's one comment, Acha, Shan. Okay, so everyone loves Shan campaign. There's one question for HPL, which will HPL sponsor PSL next year? And Dana, that's
I wish I could say. It's not a communications call to take. I think time will tell this.
Okay, इन्होंने बहुत politically statement जैसा हमें पता था देने वाली है. So the next question is for Shan Foods. It's from Amin. If Sindh is key, then why Shan Foods show Punjab setting in their ads?
So yeah, so that's the question I also answered initially in the case that I was making. Basically, Punjab is also an important region for us, and that's where the competition mainly dominates. So we're also trying to build inroads into that region as well, because overall category के लिए वो equally important है.
But बिरयानी बनानी आपने
Sorry?
बिरयानी बनानी आपने वहाँ पे सिखा दी सबको मुझे.
We're on a mission, don't worry.
Farmer, do you have any suggestions, advice for them, and then we are just going to wind up our session?
Stop it.
I think all 4 of you deserve to be here. You did a brilliant job. Only one of you is going to win, but I think all 4 of you are winners for being here. But keep doing the great work. कंज्यूमर, एज शाहजेब सेड के कंज्यूमर की तरफ से जो अवार्ड आपको मिलता है वो बेहतरीन है. मैं भी आपकी कंज्यूमर हूँ, आप चारों की कंज्यूमर हूँ, यूफोन की भी, HBL की भी और शान की भी. सो आई थिंक ग्रेट ब्रांड्स एंड ग्रेट वर्क, कीप इट अप. फ्यूचर जो है वो चैलेंजिंग होगा. मतलब दिस कोविड इज नॉट गोइंग टू गो सून. इट इज गोइंग टू बी extremely challenging. For some of you, it may not have that much of an impact, but I think for Raza and his industry, it would be, you need to probably जो है ना एक पूरा प्लेटफॉर्म चेंज की शायद जरूरत है. शायद प्लेटफॉर्म्स लाइक फूड पैंडा would become more important. So good luck to all of you. And it was really great to have to be on this show with all of you. Afshin, thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you so much, everyone. I think we are going to end our third session with the finalists. It's यहाँ पे पहुँचना भी, it's a big thing because passing through all those jury rounds, we have 3 jury rounds and extensive scope. Every juror goes through, and sustained success is one of the most important category because 3 saal ki, you're giving your performance. So best of luck to all of you, and thank you Saima, Ushna, Raza, Shazeb and Nandana for your time. I just want to remind everyone that stay tuned to our social mediums as we have more interviews lined up for next week with the finalists. Till then, good luck everyone, stay connected, stay safe, and see you soon inshallah on the event.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Best of luck, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.